this opportunity. I think the earlier speakers gave messages. Dr. Kant said measurement and honest reporting are key. And my friend Deep said what technology can do. And my friend said heat waves unite even in India and Pakistan. But I have come here today to essentially present a report to this academy. Fundamentally, it turns out that this happens to be the 33rd year in which I got to the academy, and it turns out they were talking about young people not coming to basic science. So the report submitted to this academy. Therefore, when they talked about this human resource issue on basic sciences, I focused my attention on the talent supply chain and really looking at it from the management perspective. Because God creates talent and we can't do that. We can only talk about manage. And particularly for basic sciences and the SDG goals. While we talk about this United Nations, not out of love for science, they came back and said something as the International Year of Basic Sciences. Primarily what they are trying to do is to observe this day, to celebrate it, but convince the political and the economic leaders of the world that the investments into basic science is something that the world cannot afford not to. You have to make that investment. That's a principle by which this whole thing is done. Therefore, I am going to try and communicate that this is something that we talked about 33 years ago and what we have done since then as a kind of a report in this format. So, the common understanding of basic sciences all of us know, and it turns out that the common understanding my friend Rajiv is not going to be very happy about because health science doesn't figure here. He talks about mathematics, physics, chemistry, life sciences. They are called fundamental because they help in understanding the natural phenomena. And naturally, the other sciences that we discussed today is the synthesis of some of these. Therefore, we can take them as first principles processes. Understanding a natural phenomena is, of course, is a preoccupation of what I consider some curious minds. And the earlier years in modern science, most of it was truly a preoccupation of the rich and the landed gentry. I remember going to the Leather Research Institute on my first day, and somebody asked, what do you want to become? I said, I become a scientist. And Dr. Nadam asked, are you a rich man? I said, I didn't realize that research is a prerogative of the rich man, because the research those days didn't pay much. The basic issue is about this process. But enlightened rulers supported it. However, when we solve problems through science, like my friend Pradeep has done in water, I think when it's connected to value creation and wealth creation, there are investors, private investors included. Therefore, to convince investment into basic science, we need to walk a little extra mile, especially the investors and policy makers that basic science does need. And this is something that you cannot do without. That's the kind of argument we need to make. Invest in basic sciences to do is to really invest in the right people. And we need to remember the right people is a key issue here. Understanding natural phenomena is a focus of basic science, an aspect of curiosity, well-being, sure. Today, explore the unknown frontiers of knowledge is not only a habit, but could even become an obsession for several. Advancement of basic science, to me, is like a cultural integration of questioning the known answers. We today in our schools, we will teach children to answer questions, but in science, we question the answers. So the basic science is about questioning the answers themselves. So solution science is expected to really get tangible means to solve problems, and therefore attracts public investment, private investments, and so on. So the investments do not produce science. We must remember we talk about investment, but investments do not produce science. It's the inspired people do. So the enlightened decision makers are key to the advancement of basic sciences and attracting talented youth. You cannot say, most of the time scientists say we don't have equipment. Equipment doesn't do research. It's the people who do. The question is, why do we need people? Therefore, to me, in this chart, I have here the external world for basic science policy on autonomy. If you remove the autonomy with any amount of research, you can do nothing. And that's a principle of basic science. Basic science is about not asking to do what others ask you to do, but what you think is necessary. The policy and autonomy is crucial in the external environment, and there is an infrastructure investment. So this celebration of this basic science is essentially to these two areas. Convince the economists, convince the policymakers, look, we have to make the investment, provide an autonomy. But eventually, the people who create those scientists are the mentors. And then the youth, and I realize that I'm a very old man, but basic science is still the job of a young people. And the youth, and then among them the talented youth. Therefore, the talented youth becomes centric to basic science at all cost. So the question here, have we recognized it? Have we made investments into it? Therefore, the supply chain management, to me, is essentially this process. Could inspiration be nurtured through externally as a supply chain management process? In my opinion, geniuses cannot be created. Nature created Ramanujan. Nature created Raman. And certainly Raman was not supported by anybody. And Hardy may have nurtured. Therefore, the governments cannot create the endowment that people have. So nature throws up human geniuses from time to time. They occur and they may be sporadic. Spotting, nurturing, motivating such geniuses form two complicated actions and truly beyond many governments. Because I work for the government, I can tell you, even if we tried hard, it's extremely difficult. Governments could initiate schemes that build in a system for nurturing a cohort of talented youth from very early stages, adopt an evolutionary pathways for managing the talent supply chains, because nature used evolutionary path. Man wants revolutionary path. It gave a cohort the same opportunity, some grow, some don't. But we have to accept that process is a pragmatic step. Such schemes, if to be implemented by the government, should build in scale, scope, and transparency, which Dr. Kang talked about. In implementation, position a sound governance model. I think innovation in science pursuit for inspired research is a case of an Indian effort for the promotion of basic sciences. I would like to present that as a report to you today. So KVP, you are aware, mentorship focus, early research, high band filter. It is getting in is a big problem. And I think we have shaped it against JEE. Inspire, vertical growth model from age of 10 to 32, investments into cohorts based on evolutionary model. We did not want to create people, we just want to promote people. And fellowships, several named fellowships, add the honor to autonomy as inducements and early career opportunities. And India's efforts in talent supply chain management for basic sciences is something I'd like to today to share with you as a report card. If you look at this, Inspire is conceived in 2006. It was conceived on the third day of my job in 2006, and it was initiated and delivered in 2008 because we had to go through a very large investment process when we got them done. It had three schemes. We call it, people know me, my uncanny note to the acronyms. Inspire is a innovation science pursuit for inspired research. The word inspire was deliberately done to just create the mood of inspiration is crucial for basic science itself. And we talked about SEEDS, Scheme for Early Attraction of Talents for Science. It is truly a very early stage. Then Scholarship for Higher Education, we acronymed it as a SHE, and assured opportunity for research career. And the 10 to 17, 17 to 12, and 20 to 22, because we talked about 10th age, we talk about excitement is a crucial. Don't bring innovation and all kinds of truncate the system. Create, excite the people. Then motivation is the age of 17. Then talk about scholarship with the mentoring support as a key goal. Then we talk about fellowships, scholarship building, and provide some kind of a career opportunity. Because the career opportunity is a necessary step. So it was formally announced on 2nd of January 2008 in a Science Congress, and released money on 13th December 2008 with an investment of 1,980 crores, which was reasonable money at the time. And the total money committed so far to 2017 is 4,400 crores into the scheme. That is an investment. I won't go into the details of these. And this is a 2 lakh. That's the reason for selecting those 2 lakhs, 50,000, 1,000 system. At the time when I went to the Department of Science and Technology, the total full-time equivalents in this country in research was 1.34 lakhs. And we approximate 1.5 lakhs, 4% will retire. So 66,000 jobs for really full-time equivalent job creation in this country at that time. So we wanted to ensure that out of the 6,000, we are able to create even 1,000 people coming into the stream by a vertical order. It will change the landscape. So want to do this, if you want to get 1,000 faculty positions, and you're talking about some 10,000 people doing MSc, then you talk about 50,000 people doing class, and then 2 lakhs. That's the kind of a number we talked about. There was a back, so catching the attention, young was a key issues, exciting experience, the study of essentials, essential to creative endeavor. So what we did was we announced a science award, million science award for children in the age group of 10 to 15 across all the schools in the country, all middle schools and private schools in the country, public schools, the high schools in the country. And we said we give a 5,000 rupee award, 1 million award. You undertake a project, go and participate in exhibition, and bring it to district level exhibition, then state level, the national level. And we talked about that as a goal. And there was a teacher motivation was built in, and the teacher and school select the individual. I was asked in Ramasami may remember in JNU, how do you know they will not select their own people? Arey Baba, if you can't trust a teacher to select a student for a 5,000 rupee award, how do you trust the child to be educated by the teacher? So trust. Therefore, the motivating talented you to take research to personal undertaking. Rubbing showed the icons, and this was Nobel Prize winners included, and we set up this. Today, it turns out among the first 9.6 lakh awardees, 3,600 children were invited to the national level project exhibitions. 210 entries were made, were suitable for filing a patent for them, age group 10 to 15. And all the 28 states, 7 UTs participated, 4 national awards, 6 national awards were presented. T for all the state and regional and national award winners, the President of India and the Rashtrapati was arranged. This is the 2 categories. It turns out it changed the conduct of the students when this kind of a process happens, and this has continued subsequently as well. So today, Inspire Award component has been replaced by Monarch after 2015, and the change in names, but not necessarily change in the spirit. The Inspire internship scheme, we talked about 50,000 per year, top 1% of a class 10 criterion to go into science education class 12, and it turns out that total number of mentors who have participated so far 15,000. That is a mobilization of a science community. It is the government cannot do this. It can be done by the mentors, can be the community itself. It's like building a religion for science. And 71 Nobel Prize winners participated before I left the government. Therefore, it is must have added later. The science camps are organized in all states and union territories, and you can see Venki and a whole of this is a feedback from one of the students, and it's exciting feedback. The scholarship for higher education, targeted age group, we said if you are top 1% of the school and decide to do a BSc, MSc in the science courses, you get a full scholarship 80,000 per year, and it is drawn a pool of Rajasthan University system. The one thing we accidentally called scholarship for education. 57% of these scholarship holders happen to be girls. And if we had a very excruciatingly painful, discriminative and joint entrance examination, this would become 5. Therefore, that's what this is based on a school record performance. And validation to rich, the assured career opportunity part, we will get into the process. I think you know more about them. And I like to present the research fellowships, gainers. Agriculture research was not built into our net system. Agriculture is a major gainer. Mathematics was losing out. So these are the schemes that are brought into this. In terms of institutions which gained from the research scholarship, 75% went to the university sector. That's where the talent has to be fostered. Inspire faculty fellowships, 27% female, 73 males. I think you can understand the age profiles in this process. And fundamentally, I'll give you the overall process. I reviewed the 11th and 12th because the Inspire faculty scheme was not introduced from the 2008. It was started late deliberately. And I had the 2 schemes set up. It turns out that the average output of the Inspire faculty fellows, I'm not about individual. Take the total output, total number of people. It was done in Punjab, Varun knows it. It turns out it was better than the IIT junior faculties in IIT system. Therefore, these are the numbers, and you can see patents file, scientist award, and those are the kind of things. This was 2013 data, 13 base data. I think, okay, these are vertical schemes, and 28 to 30% of the students who went from this plate enrolled into researchers. I was looking for 15%, and 28 to 30% enrollment is a reasonably high number. You take ICERs, it will be huge. The percentage will be much higher. This is the overall data, 2008 to 14. The total number of children who got this Inspire award, 1.04 million, and the total number 1.63 million. Internship, because of those COVID, the last couple of years some affected, and that's again 4 lakhs. This is a more key issue. 1.3 lakh children of the top 1% performers have joined BSc, MSc in this country. This was not the case in 33 years ago when we were discussing this languishing process. Out of these 1.3 lakh students, if you are able to tap 10,000 young researchers of high value, I think you've done enough. And this is about 12,000 students, top rankers, top one rank in any branch of science medicine, have availed this scholarship, and 14. Therefore, what is telling you today, on the whole, about 2.18 million people were attracted by the scheme so far. I like to be cautious in the Dr. Kang is around. These are within the errors of measurements, and these numbers must be reasonably reliable, not wrong reporting. And about 1.3 lakh performers attract to basic sciences, about 14,000 talent people in research landscape. In the absence of Inspire, the scale of attraction of talent might have been missed, in my opinion. And it may have been, it is orchestrated by the government. Therefore, it's important, even with the 25 to 30% levels of success, Inspire could be a game changer for basic sciences in talent supply side management. And a pipeline of science graduates and postgraduates form the nucleus of the future S&T landscape of this country as of today. Now, I looked at the data. This data is not mine. It's a pick from available sources. It talks about increasing the number of enrollment in basic sciences in this country, 17 lakhs going to 40 lakhs in the span of 5 years. And I picked up the state of Punjab because Punjab is known for agriculture, but not really known for basic sciences. There's a 7-fold increase, something of that nature. So the national data reveal enrollment of young people is on the increase since 2008. A trend could be welcomed. The data do not offer clues regarding the talent supply chain. They talked about the number, it doesn't talk about the supply chain. So what I have done is to look at the publication output of India in Web of Science process. This is the publication output growth from 95, and this is the number of authors publishing papers in this country. 1.34 lakhs, today 3.3 lakhs. 3.3 lakhs is the number of researchers moving up, and that's the number going up. And the 2004 in a highly cited paper from this country was very small, practically 0. And you're looking at the number of highly cited papers. India last year has become the 3rd largest base because of the collaborative nature of our effort, because we were trying to do everything ourselves. These are from the Web of Science and Scopus database. At the time when I went to Delhi, India was 15th rank in number of publications outputs, and in the Scopus database to this year become the 3rd. We have overcome many of them. I'm very happy to see this because I remember David King saying, "Oh, what happened to India?" Now at least David King will be unhappy that his country has been overwhelmed by the number. It's not enough for quality space. So sharing the personal thought, some early initiatives for addressing the problem of trans supply chain has initiated. It appears from early results that actions of government in India may be delivering some desired results to the community. Role of number of authors have increased. A holistic approach for promotion of basic science in the country may be the next best action. And knowledge process is a part of a social culture. Investment in basic science for global good is an aspect of cultural integration of society. I think basic science is not about national systems at all. It has to be a global. Therefore, and to deliver, and when you talk about 17 sustainable development goals, it is not enough in delivery of the sustainable development goals. Nationally, you succeed. Unless you have a total whole globe, you will deliver nothing because atmosphere is common. Nobody can, one country cannot pollute, another man cannot get the system. Therefore, India with a large talent pool of youth may need to look beyond the Indian geography in basic sciences and aim at global impact. And I believe Nobel Prize under tricolors is still waiting, because Raman got it under Union Jack. I present it as a report to the Indian Academy of Sciences, because the year I joined, there was a report saying that local Indian is not attracting people, and I think we have enough get attracting people. We must know how to manage them, nourish them better, because it's you cannot otherwise get talented people and get them frustrated. Thank you very much.
So your work and also the talk is absolutely inspiring. My name is Sujit. I'm from IIT Madras. I have a quick question. Maybe not a quick question. The atmosphere in the country. There are a lot of kids who are very interested in science, but then when they come to 10th class, 11th class, 12th class, then this nonsense that happens in terms of a rat race for some exam, and the kid is interested in physics and astronomy and all that, but then parents, society, everybody says you have to study engineering, and then they go through this scheme, and then what they do is not increase interest in science, but destroy the interest in science by drilling them to somehow clear this exam. Now yes. Compare this with some other country like Germany, where which is very known for science. So there is no entrance, nothing. If you are interested in science, you can go study science. So I think if we can do something about it, which may be very hard because of the lobbies, but I think together with this scheme, I think we could get tricolor many Nobel Prizes.
Okay, I'll keep it very quick. You are from Madras, na?
Yeah, Madras.
Problem is similar. Okay. No, problem starts there. This is Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Dr. Kang pointed out Uttar Pradesh may be a health heaven, but this is for Inspire. The largest enrollment is Uttar Pradesh. Okay. Fortunately, parents are not putting that pressure. Okay. And it turns out that the previous government appointed a committee under my chair to bring about this admission to engineering colleges, and I brought a report of a completely different model for admission into this, and diluting the role of competitiveness of the JEE. Okay. I face lots of problems, but anyway, part of it is included. It is it's a process of a social order. But what I am trying to communicate to you at this moment, if we can get this 1.3 lakhs children who have anyway come in spite of the parents, in spite of IITs, in spite of everything else, use them well. Okay? Because your science system is not larger than this. It's a small system.
Next, see, I wanted to tell you that IISc survived our undergraduate program because of KVPY. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been successful because JEE students were not participating in science. So I must thank you for that, because I was the dean to do all those work.
Thank you very much. See, I told you, I came here the first year, they talked about this. So I come back to this academy 33 years later, say we've done something.
Beautiful talk, brilliant.
Thank you.
What I wanted to say was that identifying talent in all these programs did very well, and you ended the talk by saying managing that, directing that. So what has happened to this direction? People are now doing 3 postdocs, 4 postdocs, and they are getting age over.
You see, let me now tell you. I use the word India may have begun well, best is yet to come. Okay? India may have begun well, best is yet to come. Okay? Let us be hopeful, it will come. Because fundamentally, when I started this Inspire Faculty Scholarship, fresh PhDs should be eligible. One of my dearest friends, whom I won't name in Bangalore particularly, he said, why are you doing this? They are not ready for their faculty appointment. I said, you and I started research guiding students at 27. Remember that. He also was 27. He said, we were different. How can we be different? Therefore, fundamentally, it is our community's own personal persistence that we do not keep the PhD program well done, and then you want to have a post for doctoral training. Why do you do a PhD properly? As simple. Therefore, I think fundamentally the last few years, I mean, don't make it not a political statement. Okay, for last few years, recruitment of people in national labs and my major centers has gone down. IITs fortunately have done well. So it is a question of imbalance. Imbalance had to be corrected. The point is well taken. Okay. But this is all I am presenting. I am no Gandhi. Well, let me not pretend to bring a social order change. What a government can do to nourish basic science, we have made some initial process.
5,300 or so PhDs in chemistry, I was told, and we have 370 appointments.
Hey, look, that
We'll not get into this.
I have see. Look, your data. I have that much more data. That is problem is your supply, not because of process. Fundamentally, the total the Inspire scheme was trained, was designed to have 2.5 lakh full-time equivalent, 10,000 PhDs in this country. It was designed. Fundamentally, at that time, 2.5 lakhs was considered a reasonable increase from 1.5 to 2.5. Okay. That expansion was taking place at a particular time. It is not taking place today.
Yeah, very sorry.
And that is a different process that scientists cannot do. Come.
Okay, very insightful.
Last question.
talk. Yeah, so I was just intrigued by the pie chart you have shown for the SHE program. There are like more than 50% female students who are getting success. But when you go to the next level, Inspire, it's only like 20, 23 or 24%. Is this because is this because of the stringent age bar that is put?
No. Don't bring this age bar. I know where you are getting, and I'm not going to accept this. Okay? Even
No,
before you go. Fundamentally, that's a marriageable age.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
Okay?
to say.
Manageable age. And please understand, basic science, unfortunately, doesn't let you all the freedom. We must understand this. Fundamentally, the question here, the way recruitment was done for SHE, before I mounted the scheme, I had 3.2 crore data from 2005, 2007, 10th class and 12th class across the country, 29 boards, and asked the question, wow, how many children were in the top 1% of the class 10 and class 12? 20,560. I said, how many of them are girls? 53%. And how many of them were small towns? 62%. So I kept the examination stream out. I said board exam. Fundamentally, the entry for this is based on the board exam, and that's what it talks about. When it talks about the Inspire fellowship scheme, PhD fellowship scheme, this barrier is no issue. Women are higher representation. The Inspire faculty scheme, that we are talking about today, and that is not done by this kind of yardsticks. These are done by scientists like you, by all these academies, and we want to talk about. And that is a different process because peer judgment is a very qualitative. Okay? And these things will happen. It will get corrected with time. Don't worry.
No, but you yourself said it's a marriageable age. So we are putting 32 years as a
32,
cutoff.
I don't believe, personally don't mistake me, science doesn't discriminate gender. Society does. There's a certain amount of this is a very small niche, and that niche I think we have to operate on 32.
I think we'll close it here. We have a next talk.